So the word for today is momentous. We've been waiting for a vaccine for months and it's finally here.
Today, a Seattle nurse was among the first people in Washington state to receive the COVID-19 vaccine. The first shipment of the Pfizer vaccine was opened yesterday at the UW Medical Center. About 62,000 doses are heading to Washington state by the end of the week. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us on KREM 2 News First at 4. I'm Tom Sherry.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. So the vaccine has now been administered in Washington for the first time, but it has not yet reached Spokane County. So the question is, when will it?
So our Casey Decker breaks down what we know and what we don't know.
We know that the first few rounds of vaccines will be given to people in two settings. One, healthcare facilities. Two, long-term care facilities. And the way the vaccine will be distributed to those two groups is actually different. Let's start with healthcare facilities, since we know a little more about how this one will work. Here, vaccines are being divvied up by the State Department of Health. We know Spokane County facilities will receive 3,900 doses. A lot of those doses will likely go to the region's big hospitals. Providence confirmed they are receiving a shipment, probably sometime in the next week or two, but they couldn't say exactly when or how many doses. Multicare also confirmed they'll receive a shipment, probably within the next week. They too couldn't give specifics on time or dosage numbers. Both organizations also confirmed none of the vaccines will be available to the general public. They'll go to the highest risk workers, the ones most directly exposed to the virus. And even then, this first batch won't be enough to cover everyone. Now let's move on to long-term care facilities. Outbreaks are common in these facilities, and with older and sicker residents often quite deadly. So they're a natural priority as well, but these facilities won't get their vaccines from the state. There's actually a separate program just for long-term care. It's a partnership between the federal government and major pharmacies. We called around to some facilities in the area and confirmed that many of them, like the Spokane Veterans Home, the Gardens on University, and Evergreen Fountains, have signed up to get vaccines from CVS or Walgreens. However, none of the facilities had any information on how many doses they might get or when they might get them. The bottom line for most folks, it'll be a while yet before the vaccine is available to the general public. We're still not even sure exactly when frontline workers will get vaccinated, and there are a lot of them to go before the next priority rounds begin. Casey Decker, KREM 2 News.
Now, when it comes to the distribution of this vaccine through the rest of the state, we know 8,700 doses will be coming to eastern Washington, with the most coming here to Spokane County. More than 10,000 doses will land in King County, and there are 500,000 people in the first group to get vaccinated, which is going to be known as Phase 1A. As Casey Decker explained, that group includes the high-risk healthcare workers, patients, first responders, and staff at long-term care facilities.
Now, across state line in Idaho, they're on track to receive initially at least 13,000 doses of the coronavirus vaccine. The first shipment is set to arrive by the end of this week. The vaccine is being distributed to 7 local public health districts, and the locations were chosen based on the number of healthcare workers in each of those districts. Like in Washington, healthcare staff, COVID patients, and long-term care facility workers are among the first to receive the shot. The state expects to get another 89,000 vaccines in the second and third shipments.
Now, that Pfizer vaccine is given basically like the flu shot. It's injected into the muscle. Unlike the flu shot, though, you're going to need 2 doses, which will be given 3 weeks apart. And that's important because when you get that first dose, you'll be given a vaccine card that reminds you to take that second dose and when. That second dose has to be of the same vaccine. So, for example, if you start with the Pfizer vaccine, you need to finish with the Pfizer vaccine because you can't mix or match with any other vaccine versions that may come out.
And the Moderna vaccine is next up to get approval from the FDA. U.S. officials say they are planning to ship about 6 million doses as soon as Friday. This is all pending approval from the FDA. Today, the Food and Drug Administration said that Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine data meets expectations for emergency use, although this does not mean that it has a green light yet. An FDA committee is set to review Moderna's vaccine this Thursday. This is the same committee that granted emergency use authorization for Pfizer's vaccine. Hey, we know that this is a whole lot of information for you to consume about this new COVID-19 vaccine.
Absolutely, and that's actually why here at KREM we have created our own vaccine team so we can help answer questions and keep it straight. So do you have a vaccine question that you'd like us to look into? Just text your question to 509-448-2000.
And for the latest vaccine update so that you can stay up to speed, just text the word vaccine to that same number.
All right, the other big story that we're talking about, of course, is today's weather. Boy, it's very sloppy out there. Do you expect that it's going to be icy, sloppy mess, or is it going to start melting?
I think, well, it's melting right now. We're well above freezing. Take a look at this. That's downtown right now, and it is sloppy out there, but at least the main roads are in good shape. We've now switched over to a light rain, and look at that, Whitney. We're at 36 degrees, and it's getting windy, and plan on the wind over the weekend as well. So here's what we think is going to be happening. We've got a little bit of light rain or rain and snow. This is just what we said was going to happen yesterday. Still snowing up in the higher elevations. We will get down to about freezing tonight. That overnight low of 32, that's normally our daytime high. So you can see we've got very mild temperatures. So I wouldn't rule out some freezing roads, especially if there's still some snow, ice pack there. Tomorrow we'll look for cloudy skies with a high all the way up to 39. And then I've got more evening rain, possibly changing into snow late tomorrow night and in the overnight hours. For the weekend, look at these temperatures. My gosh, Saturday, windy. And then we'll look for rain, probably mostly rain falling Saturday night, snow up in the mountains. And then we'll look for Sunday, more rain, windy as well, and a daytime high of 46. I'll check the rest of your 7-day outlook coming up in a few minutes.
That's good news for traveling and driving, though. That's going to be great.
You bet.
We appreciate that. Tom, thanks so much.